Hello everyone, we are going to see the lesson number 4.7, The Sword in the Stone of Standard 6th English. This is a story of King Arthur and his son. We are going to see that. See students, King Arthur, famous in legends and history as one of the bravest and noblest kings of Britain, grew up as an orphaned youth before destiny intervened, and in the form of his protector and guardian Merlin the magician, to reveal his true identity to the people of Britain. Sorry students that I told King Arthur and his son, but not King Arthur, but King Uther and his son King Arthur. About them the story is. So see students, that King Arthur was one of the bravest and noblest kings of Britain in the stories of history. And then see here that before destiny intervened, before destiny interrupted, that it was destiny was protecting and gardening this King Arthur, and Merlin has to reveal his true identity to the people. Whatever we are going to see that in detail, we are going to see. Afterwards, you will get whatever written is here in the blue lines. Okay. Now see the story starting here. In ancient Britain, at a time when the land was invaded by wild barbarians, the good and noble Lord Uther fought them bravely and drove them away from his land. The people made him king of Britain and gave him the title Pendragon, meaning dragon's head. King Uther Pendragon ruled Britain wisely and well. The people were content, but very soon the king died. It was thought that he had been poisoned by some traitors. There was no heir uh, to the throne of Britain. Now, see students, that in ancient time this story is happened. Okay, in olden time of Britain, this story is happened. See students, that Britain land was invaded or attacked by wild barbarians. Barbarians means what? That is wild people. Okay, the people who lives in jungle, wild people. They attacked on Britain, and at that time there was one good and noble lord was there. His name was Uther, and that Uther, okay, see here, Uther Uther fought with them very bravely, and he drove them away from his land. And in this way, the people made him king of, okay, king of Britain, and gave him the title, okay, that is Pendragon, meaning dragon's head. Okay, Pendragon means that is dragon's head. Dragon means it is one type of monster. I think we have seen in the cartoons. Okay, monster. So Pendragon means what? That actually, if you see the meaning of it, that who holds the supreme power, that is called as Pendragon. Okay, then see that people made him this Uther, Lord Uther, the king of Britain, and he was given the title by the people, that is Pendragon, means dragon's head. Now this as king was very much active, and that's why he ruled Britain very wisely and well, means people were happy with his ruling, means they were content, people were content, means satisfactory, okay, satisfied, people were satisfied with King Uther's ruling. But what happens is students, that King Uther died very soon, and it was thought that, or it was talked that he was poisoned. King Uther was poisoned by some traitors. Okay, traitors means what? That is traitors means betrayer. Okay, traitors means betrayers or disloyal. Okay, betrayer. That's here. So there has no heir to the throne of Britain, and then after the death of King Uther, there was no one, okay, to the throne of Britain. In this way, see students, what happened next. So the powerful lords and knights who had been kept under control by King Uther now began to demand that one of them should be crowned king of Britain. Rivalry grew amongst the lords, and the country as a whole began to suffer. Uh, Armed robbers roamed the countryside, pillaging farms and fields. People felt unsafe and insecure in their own homes. Fear gripped the country, and lawlessness prevailed over the divided kingdom. Now, see, students, that after the death of the king, so many powerful lords, okay, powerful lords and knights, okay, that is, in short we call them that sardars in Marathi, okay, sardars. So many lords, there is a little bit differences there in lords and knights, but usually they are sardars, okay. So they were, when Uther king was there at that time, they were kept in control, okay. But as the death of King Uther happened, then after they began to demand for the crowned king of Britain, okay. Everyone started to capture, or they tried to capture the throne of Britain. So in this way, the rivalry means struggle grew amongst them. They started to struggle with each other, and in this way, the whole country began to suffer from this thing, from that struggle. And because of this, what happens is, students, armed robbers, okay, who robs, okay, who steals, that is robbers in Marathi we call that daroda ghalne, okay, that armed, the taking the so many weapons, the armed robbers, they started to roam here and there, okay, they started to wander here and there around the countryside, and pillaging farms and fields, okay, that is pillaging means looting, okay, loot, that pillaging farms and fields. And in this way, people in that country, in the country of Britain, felt unsafe and insecure. Unsafe, okay, that is, they were not feeling safe, and they were not feeling protective. And in this way, fear gripped the country, okay, fear gripped the country means, in the people's mind also there was fear, okay. And in this way, the lawlessness, okay, lawlessness means there was no order, okay, that is lawlessness prevailed, lawlessness prevailed over the divided kingdom. And in this way, there was no order, obviously. There are everywhere there was puzzleness, and in this way, people got also frightened. Now, see, students, nearly 16 years had passed since the death of Lord Uther. All the lords and knights of Britain had assembled at the great church of London for Christmas. So then, this thing is happening for 16 years after the death of Uther king. 16 years this thing is happening. Robbers were robbing. There was everywhere. There was lawlessness. Okay, there was fear in the minds of people, and in this way, after the 16 years, then one thing happened, that is the lords and knights, okay, lords and knights, when this thing is happening after 16 years after the death of Lord Uther. So all the lords and knights, they collected, or they gathered at the great church of London for Christmas, okay, for celebrating Christmas. All the lords, that is all lords and knights gathered there, okay, at the great church. Now, see, students, what happened next. On Christmas morning, just as they were leaving the church, a strange sight drew their attention. In the churchyard, in the there was a large stone, and on it an anvil of steel, and in the steel a naked sword was held, and about it was written in letters of gold, whoso pulleth out this sword is by right of birth King of England. And now see, on this Christmas morning, uh, when these lords and knights were leaving the church, okay, after the prayer, the strange sight they saw, the strange thing they saw, and they saw that that there was one anvil, okay, there was one large in the churchyard, there was one a large stone, and on that large stone there was an anvil, okay, anvil means what? That is, it is a iron or black iron or steel block, okay, and its flat top is straight one, and it is used for giving the shape to metal, okay, giving the shape to metal and to hammer it, okay, to hammer it, that is in Marathi we call it iron, okay. So on that anvil there was one sword. What was there? There was one sword, and and on that about it was written in letters of gold, and in the gold it was written that whoso pulleth out this sword is by right of birth King of England. Means whoever will pull it means pulled out, okay, pull it means pulled out, whoever will pull out this sword is by right of birth King of England. Means that it was stuck into the that anvil, okay, that sword was stuck into that anvil, and whoever will pick out this, whoever will pull out this, he will be the king of the king England, okay, that was written with the gold, okay, with the letters in a gold. Now see here, so as the letters were written on it, and so everyone was curious to see this, and that's why everyone tried for it. What happens is, students, that is, many of the knights could not hold, knights means sardar, okay, could not hold themselves back, fancying themselves as future kings. They rushed to the stone and attempted to draw the sword from its steel anvil. They pulled with all their might, but none of them so could do so much as move the sword. Okay, so everyone means any knight cannot hold them back, okay. So they fancying themselves as future king, okay, that imagining themselves, fancying means imagining, okay, fancying means imagining themselves as future kings, they also pushed forward, okay, they also rushed to the stone and attempted to draw the sword from its steel anvil. Okay, so they started to pull with their all might, with their all power, okay, they started to pull that sword with all their power, but none of them could so much as move the sword. So obviously the man who might draw the sword and prove himself to be our rightful king is not amongst us this morning, said the archbishop. However, every man who wishes to try his hand at drawing this sword is free to do so for the next few days. He who draws the sword will be crowned king, and to celebrate the appearance of this magnificent sword and prepare ourselves for the arrival of our future king, we will hold a magnificent tournament on a New Year's Day. And see here, so there was archbishop. Archbishop means uh, who is the president of the church is called as archbishop, okay, archbishop. So archbishop was there with that with lords and knights, and he said that yes, obviously, the man who might draw the man who might draw the sword and prove himself the king of England is not amongst us, okay, this morning. And he also further said that everyone whoever wants to wish, okay, to try his hand at drawing this sword is free to do so. Means he is free, he can try for more times, okay, for the next few days, means for some more days. If anyone wants to try this to pull out this sword, then he can try for so many times. But he also said that he draws the sword will be crowned king, and whoever will successful in this thing, that he will be crowned as a king. And see here, and to celebrate the appearance of this magnificent means that is grand, magnificent means grand sword. So to celebrate the appearance of this grand sword and prepare ourselves for the arrival of our future king. So also for to celebrate the appearance of this magnificent sword, okay, so grand sword, and also to prepare ourselves for welcoming the future king, we want some days, okay, we will make some preparations, okay. So on the next and he told that, archbishop told that they are holding, okay, they are holding a tournament, a magnificent tournament, okay, magnificent tournament on a new year's day, he said, okay. Means there will be on a new year's day, there will be the magnificent tournament, okay. Whoever will try to pull out that sword from the evil, that for that thing the tournament will be arranged, and on that day the king of Britain will be decided, he said. Then see students, on New Year's Day, a great number of young and brave knights gathered to attend the church service. After that, they met in the field nearby to participate in the great tournament. Dukes and counts, earls, barons, knights crowded onto the field. And now see, on New Year's Day, okay, that the tournament was arranged on New Year's Day, okay. So great number of young and brave knights gathered there. They were means they came together there to attend church service. Church service means church prayer, okay, the prayer in the church. So then after, they all gathered there in the field nearby, okay, in the farm nearby, on the ground nearby, and they participate, they took the participation in the great tournament. There were dukes, counts, earls, barons, and knights, okay, crowded onto the field. See students, that is dukes will be there, okay, dukes, counts, earls, barons, and knights. These are the words related a little bit difference with sardars, okay. They all were the sardars, okay. Only the positions were lower and higher positions, okay. But in short we can call them knights, okay. Dukes, counts, earls, barons, knights, they all were crowded onto the field. Now so among them was Sir Ector, a noble knight. He was accompanied by his two sons, Sir Kay and young Arthur. Okay. Uh, Among them was Sir Ector, a noble knight. He was accompanied by his two sons, Sir Kay and young Arthur. Kay was his own son who had been recently knighted. Arthur, whom he had brought up as a foster son, was actually an orphan whom he had raised as his own child. The good Sir Ector loved both his sons dearly. And see here students, so many barons, then that dukes, counts, earls, knights, they all were gathered there. Among them was also Sir Ector, okay, Sir Ector, and he was also accompanied by, means he has come there on that tournament with his two sons, that is Sir Kay and young Arthur. Sir Kay and young Arthur. Sir Kay was his own son, okay, who had been recently knighted, who had been made the knight now only, okay. And Arthur, whom also he had brought up as his own son, okay, but it was his foster son, means it was his not his own son, okay, but he has brought up as his own son, but it is others son, it was others son. So it was actually an orphan whom he had raised as his own child. Actually that is Arthur was an orphan, okay, means who had no parents, that is orphan. That Arthur was an orphan son, but that Sir Ector raised him or grew him as his own child. Obviously, yes, the Sir Ector loved both his sons dearly, okay, he was loving his sons very dearly. Now, see, as Sir Kay was preparing to join the tournament, he realized that he had left his sword behind at home. Hastily, he summoned his younger brother and said to him, Arthur, you want to me win this tournament, don't you? Then you must help me out. Take my horse and gallop home as fast as you can. Get my sword and rush back here at once. Now, sir, says here, that Sir K, he was also preparing for joining the tournament. Okay, means he was also going to try to catch there, to pull out that sword from the evil. Okay, so he was also joining for the tournament, and at that time he realized that he found out that, okay, who Sir K found out that he had left his sword behind in the home, and hastily means hurriedly, he summoned means called, okay, summoned means called, he called his younger brother, okay, that is Arthur. And what he told to him, Arthur, you want to me win this tournament, don't you? Okay, you want know that I should win this tournament, then you do one thing for me, okay, then you must help me out. Then he said further to take my horse and gallop home as fast as you can. Gallop means go with speed, okay, take my horse and go with speed as you can, as fast as you can, and get my sword, take my sword, and please rush back here at once, and please come back here once again. Now see, I am going, called Arthur, rushing off at once. You shall have your sword sooner than you think. Arthur was a very noble person. Okay, he said, yes, I am going, I'll go, and you shall have your sword no sooner, okay, sooner than you think, okay, means you will find your sword when your thinking will not be also completed, that before that your sword will be there with you, he said. As he rushed past the church, a glint a glint of steel caught his eye, the blade of a sword shining brightly in the morning sun. And see, yes, friends, as he was passing through the church, a glint means a shine, okay, glint means shine of steel caught his eye, and he saw that on the blade of on the blade, that is, sorry, on an anvil there was the blade of sword, and it was shining brightly in the morning sun. And see, students, and he saw that there is one sword, steel blade sword was kept on that anvil. Now the sword was mounted on an anvil on top of a block of marble right in the middle of the churchyard. And this sword was kept high on an anvil on top of block of marble. Okay, that marble stone was there, and on the stone in the anvil that sword was kept. So it was the magic sword in the stone, but Arthur knew nothing about it. Okay, this was this sword was not an ordinary sword. Okay, it was a magic sword. Okay, in the stone, but Arthur knew nothing about it. Okay, he knew nothing about that sword, about that. He didn't know about it. Okay, so all he saw was a sword, and that was available for taking. And the first mind in his the first thing first thought came in his mind, that was that the sword is there, then why should I not take that one? Okay, why should I gallop to my home and then bring? Okay, and if I took this, then it will be easily available for now only to the Sir K. Okay, then what he did see here, K shall have his sword straight away. Now only for K this sword will be available. Then Arthur said to himself in this way, that if I took this now only, if I take this now only, for Sir K it will be easily available, and very soon it will be available. So he ran up to the stone, seized the sword and by the handle, and drew it out effortlessly. And he ran to that stone, and he caught the sword. Seize means that is caught. Okay, seize means caught. He seized the sword by the handle and drew it out effortlessly. No, without any effort. Okay, effortlessly, without any efforts, he drew out that from that evil. Okay, he rushed back to his brother and handed the sword to him, breathless with excitement, and with very excitement. He came to his brother and he handed the sword to him. You are back very soon, Sir K said to him. You came very early. Very soon you came. But hey, this is not my sword. But hey, it is not my own sword. Okay. So students, we'll stop here. Whatever the remain, we'll see in the next lecture. Okay. Thank you.